Hi, Michael here for Baby Audio, and today I'm talking about our new Spectral Dynamics plugin, Smooth Operator Pro.
Smooth Operator Pro is a spectral peak leveler that can rebalance the harmonic content in your sounds to fix problematic material and improve your results. The all-new Pro Edition is a comprehensive update to the original Smooth Operator with powerful new features for reducing harshness, clearing out mud, and minimizing masking in your mix. With a completely redesigned UI, more processing nodes, and detailed per-node parameters, Smooth Operator Pro takes resonance suppression into new territory.
I'll go into detail on all the new features in a second, but first let's look at some sound examples where Smooth Operator Pro can help you improve the sounds in your mix.
In this classic example, I have some distorted, double-tracked guitars that have a lot going on in the upper mid-range. Smooth Operator Pro can easily rebalance these frequencies to minimize the buildup of fatiguing harmonics. Here's the dry signal. With Smooth Operator Pro, all I need to do is click to create a peak note at 5K where the signal sounds harsh to me, and drag it down to lower the threshold and reduce the sharpness that's causing fatigue. That's already sounding less harsh, but with the new controls in the Pro Edition, I can make the spectral peak reduction a bit more selective by increasing the detail and isolation controls in the focus menu. And since the distorted guitar sound is already pretty compressed, I'll switch to RMS mode for a better detection response on this more sustained signal. Finally, I can tell that these problematic frequencies are persisting over time, so I'll extend the release time in the comp menu to keep them from returning to their original intensity too quickly. With these precise settings, Smooth Operator Pro is transparently reducing just the harshest of those resonant harmonics in the present zone. To get a similar effect with EQ, I'd have to target a wider range of frequencies and attenuate them across the entire signal, which can sometimes feel filtered and unnatural.
Just to make sure I'm not getting carried away, I can quickly toggle between the output signal and the material I've removed to make sure I'm not pulling out anything too important.
Next up, I've got the drums from this session. The artist wanted to go for a more aggressive sound, so we printed the room mics with a bit of saturation on the way in. I like the results overall, but there are a few areas where the rooms are conflicting with the other mics on the kit. First off, I think the high end could use some general control from about 5K and up, so I'll go in with the high shelving node to broadly thin out some of the density that's feeling fatiguing up there. I want to keep this dense spread of frequencies fairly distinct, so I'll enable Override Global for this node's focus setting and turn up the isolation to treat more of the harmonics individually. But since I don't want to lose all the spaciousness I'm getting from the top end in these mics, I can bring some of that activity back using the new per-node imaging controls. With override globals engaged, I'll toggle this node into MS mode and focus the processing on the center channel. That'll give me just a little bit more harmonic complexity in the side signal, which helps increase the sense of depth in the stereo field. Now if I move on to a different section, these busy tom fills have a nice punchy attack, but the saturation is making their sustain feel a bit boxy and distant when combined with the other mics. Smooth Operator Pro works just as well on low and mid-range resonances, so I'll create a narrow peak node at around 200 Hz to see if I can get some control in that area. I still want that sense of power and impact at the transient, so I've set the attack slow to keep that in, but with a more aggressive ratio to tame the resonant bass after the hits. Now when I blend my close mics back in, I still get plenty of punch, just without that conflicting low-end sustain getting emphasized by the saturation. I used a hi-hat close mic on this session, and I'd like to pan it where it appears from the drummer's perspective in the mix. But since it's capturing so much bleed from the rest of the kit, panning it to where it would actually appear makes the kick and snare feel skewed to the left. With Smooth Operator Pro, I can create sends from my kick and snare close mics and enable the external sidechain inputs so the plugin responds to the spectral content of those sources. Now, if I make a broad reduction using the low shelving node while keeping the rest of the frequencies unaffected, I can eliminate almost all the bleed from the kick and snare in this mic. There are other ways to accomplish this, but Smooth Operator Pro is giving me a dramatic reduction of the kick and snare bleed without even touching the important frequencies in the hi-hat. That allows me to keep a nice, crisp stereo image with a clear sense of where each element of the kit is positioned from the drummer's perspective.
Moving on from the drums, I recorded the bass using both a DI and a mic'd amp, and as you'd expect, the amp signal has a lot more harmonics, especially in the mid-range area around 500 Hz. When I blend them together, it really feels like that amp mic takes over on certain notes and contributes to a bit of masking across the rest of the mix. With Smooth Operator Pro on the bass bus, I can add a node in the problem area and easily set the threshold so it triggers on the notes where the mids build up. To me, that sounds a bit more transparent than heavy compression, and it lets me keep my bass sound nice and punchy in the mix. So that's just a few of the ways you can use Smooth Operator Pro's spectral dynamics control to solve problems and improve key sources in your mix. Once you get started with its powerful processing, you'll find plenty of unique ways to reshape the harmonic content of your sounds. If you want to see more on the individual features and creative applications of Smooth Operator Pro, head over to our official tutorial video. And if you'd like to try the plugin for yourself, you can find it on our website with a free trial available. That's all for today. I hope you enjoy Smooth Operator Pro, and I'll see you in the next one.